Welcome back to Shed Creations. This is another little weird, interesting video. It's again a little spur of the moment thing. I've been asked to make a sword a few times. Yes, that's right, you did hear me, a sword. Obviously out of wood, because that's what we do here. I had to play about with some sapele that I had sitting around. A couple of odd sticks, only cost me a couple of quid, so it weren't the end of the world. And yeah, I made one. It actually turned out pretty decent. Got a good profile down it. That's the handle. Now, obviously it's got an influence of the Japanese style swords in it. This style of sword I believe is called a chokuto or chokuto. Hopefully I pronounced that right. So now I want to make another one and show you what I've done. This one was just an experiment, just to see if I could do it and what it would look like, how the dimensions of it, everything else would be alright. Sorry. Yeah, so this was just an experiment, just to see if I could do it, what it would turn out like, dimensions, everything else, what it would feel like in the hand as well. And I will say that I have a young lad in the house who's quite happy to be swinging it around and already give me a few wallops with it. Yeah. So now I'm going to do another one. I've got a load of bits of oak that I've got sitting around in here. They were intended for another project, but that's now gone to the wayside. So got a few odd bits and pieces sitting around that I've got. This looks like it was the piece of a knoll post for a staircase or something on them, or newel post, however you pronounce it. So I'm going to make it out of this, make it out of oak instead. So I'm going to use this as a rough template, as I do, which you may know by now if you've been following for a little while, is I do things slightly different every time. I don't always do things exactly as they were before. I like to mix things up. So I might do the blade slightly differently, but I'm going to do the handle pretty much the same because I like the way that feels. No matter what style of blade or guard that I put on it, I think the handle will be a good size handle and a good feel in the hand. So I'm happy with this piece of wood is hiding the sword inside it. So I'm going to trace the handle out anyway and then get an idea for the blade. I may end up doing the blade the same way because it is the most straightforward one to do. It's just straight lines and then it's just desanding for the blade itself. So follow along. Now I'm putting it about 1.25 inches in from the end because I think I probably don't even need to do that. Forget that. Alright, carrying on with this sword. But what I didn't realise is as I was cutting part of it out on the bandsaw, my battery actually gave out on me. So I've not got too far. that bit off, that bit off. So I've got the main body, the main shape of it roughly cut out. There's still a lot more work to do. I've got to thin this down a lot into, that's the obviously the back of the blade. This is going to be the edge, and obviously a lot to do with the handle and the guard as well. So there's still a lot to do. And then obviously the front part, as always, all the same. So I don't throw them away either. They'll go into one of my scrap piles. So the next step is now working out how thick I want to make the back of it, the spine of it. The one that I've got already that I've done, the back of it, the spine of it is 1 centimetre. So I think that's where I'm going to go with this one as well. I'll be happy with that. I think it's a good size. So yeah, I think that's a good size. So I think that's what we'll go for. So what I've done there is I just worked out the thickness that I've got here with the timber, found the middle of it, and then just worked the centimetre from there, because obviously I want to take this down. I find that the easiest way to do it myself. You guys out there with loads more experience will probably be laughing at me what I'm doing here, but each their own, eh? Live and let live. So that's what I'm going to take off. I'm going to take it off that same thickness all the way through, because then obviously once I've cut it down to that, I can then work on my belt sander to get the actual blade profile sitting much nicer. So let's go to the bandsaw. I forgot I didn't move ya. So that's those pieces cut off, so they're out of the way, and that's basically like the thickness of the actual blade. Looks like it's got a slight warp in it, but I'll fix that in sanding. So the next step is getting a handle to a nice size. Now I am going to leave it much wider than the actual blade itself. And again, with almost everything that I do, it's all trial and error. Now I'm just going to whip these off on the bandsaw. I'm not going to turn you again. So again, it's all rough at the moment, but that's a better feel once it's all rounded off, because I'm actually going to leave this one round. That one I left quite square, but I've rounded the edges. With this one, I think I am going to completely round it over, or try my best to anyway. just noticed that the handle is a bit too thick at the end of it, so I just wanted to get it all a bit more even. There is a lot of cleanup on this, and obviously I've got to narrow that blade down. What I do is I put a line straight down the middle of this, and then with my belt sander I work my way towards that line. I just find it the best way. I get as close to as even shape as possible, and I get it to a nice point. So the next step is getting my belt sander set up. I do have another one, but this one is just easier to use at the moment just because space is always a premium. So obviously the safest way you can do it, not really this way, this is just the way I do it. Shouldn't have to say it, but you don't really have to do what I do. It's just, again, like I say, how I do it. So, let's go. Get my dust mask. As the belt sander does like to kick out a fair bit of dust, I do like to use this. So that's the handle mostly done. I will take it down, I think, a little bit more than that, although it does feel good in hand. And again, it will have a sand over again with some softer sandpaper, so I'll be able to get the edges round over. Not quite sure what I'm going to be doing with the guard as of yet. Let's head off. So yeah, it's not quite sure what I'm going to be doing with the guard as of yet. So I've left it rough. It is very ugly at the minute, but there's a lot of meat on there to take off, and for it to show me what it wants to be, as that's the way I generally do it. I let the wood talk to me, and it goes where I think it should go, or where it wants to go. So I'm gonna have a look to see, like, blade profile. What I've done on this one, that's 2 centimeters from the top is where I leave it thick, and then I work from that down. That's what I've done with that one. So it leaves a nice profile for the blade. I think I'm just going to do that again. I say like what I've done. This is the second one I've done. Right, before I do that I need to take some of the back of it because it's a bit wavy and then it's going to leave my profile a bit wonky otherwise. Don't forget your mask. Now that actually feels quite good along there now. So I will just mark out the profile again, just so I make it nice and even. Right, happy with that now. Let's get on with a bit more sanding. Right, so you can sort of see where we're getting. The profile's coming out. I'm not going to bore you with me doing that the whole way through. So we'll catch up when I'm done what I need to do with the blade. Right, so here we are with the blade pretty much done. With everything it will need a final sand. I'm trying to see if you can look on it. Yeah, look. Got a nice little edge along the tip of the blade, and the back of it's got a nice sort of chunkiness to it still. Can't really see it too well on this oak, it's too light of a colour. But you can sort of see it to the tip there where I've got a nice little profile on it. So the next step is the guard and the handle. That's what I'm going to work on next. So not quite sure what else I'm going to do with the handle. I'm going to it's quite a nice sort of feel as it is. It's got a nice feel in the hand. But I don't know whether I want to take anything more off of it. I was going to make it a bit more roundish, a bit more oval. But it actually feels, if I take any more off it, I think it's going to lose some of that feeling. So I think I'm going to work on the guard next. Obviously there's not a lot I can do with it because it is just a little chunk of wood. Just shape it up more. Yeah, bear with me. This is all part of the process of just, like I said before, letting the wood talk to you, looking at the whole item, and then it may start sort of showing itself, or in your mind it may start showing itself as to what it needs to be, or what it wants to be. Because I make them from one piece of wood, and the wood's only a certain thickness, there's only so much I could do with it, but I don't want to keep leaving them as just blocks. I think what I will do is I'll take the corners off just to oval it out a little bit maybe. And then just clean it all up. Yeah, let's go with that. That's what it's talking to me. Looks like I might have to take that apart first. Let me get this dealt with. I'll get back to you. Right, so I wasn't able to resurrect my belt sander. Now I need to find a new one. I do have another one, but it's not variable speed, so I want to try and find another one with variable speed. So for now, I've got my palm sander mounted in the most convenient way. So I'm going to get on shaping the guard, sorry. Let's see where we go from here. So that's the handle. As you can see, I've got my PPE here, really useful when you don't wear it. Got my handle mostly done, got it shaped out anyway, sort of how I like it, or how I actually think this one looks good. Quite happy with that. Got the guard roughed out. So with it. I'm going to add some more shape to it. I think I'm going to shape it this way as well. But there's some more finessing with these bits here. And just general finessing all over really, I think. But for the most part, I'm happy. So let's carry on. Let me get you over here with me so you can see what I'm doing. Right, I've now got you set up here. I've got the sword in another jig, or in a vice should I say. I'm going to knock down these parts now, try and get them all level. Just they're uneven, partly from the bandsaw, but a big part from the jigsaw. I'm not the greatest with the jigsaw, I find they wander a lot. More likely me than at all. So I'm going to knock these down, get these looking a little bit better. And yeah, see how we go. feels quite good in the end actually.
Always notice other little bits as you put your sander down.
Now, what else to do with the guard? I do think I want to round it over a little bit more there. It's only always miss bits. Well, not necessarily miss bits, do bits I'm not happy with. So only had a gentle round over on the edges. Obviously it needs to be tidied up a bit better. This edge needs to be finished a little bit better. But that's roughly what it is. You can see the profile of it. So I'm going to give it its final sanding, because I think I'm pretty much happy with that. And then I'll pick up back up here when it's done. See you in a minute. Right, so you guys are back up on your shelf now. I've given the sword the final sand over, and I'm really happy with how it's come out. The light doesn't do it justice really, but it actually has turned out pretty decent. Again, quite pleased with it. Quite impressed with myself actually. That's the handle and the guard. It's all turned out pretty nice. So now the next step I'll do, I've already given it a clean up, like I say, in its final sand over. So what I'll do now is I'll get my wood wax and I'll give it a coat of my wood wax. I do have my other sword coated yesterday, that's ready to be basically wiped down and finished off. I'll do that with you on this video as well. Now if you do want to purchase any of these swords, or if you want me to make one for you of a certain sort of style, give me a shout. I'm open to the offers. These will be up on the website soon enough. I'll get them up hopefully in the next few days. You can also have a little browse through, see what other items I've got on there. I do need to update it, so not everything I do have made already and ready to be sold is on there. I've been a bit slack with that, if I'm honest, but there we are. So just make sure I get absolutely everywhere on this. Give it a good thorough coat. Good flow coat there, get everything. That's what it looks like with just the wood wax on it. I really do like the way it brings out the colours. So that will now sit there for a day or so. Let the oils and stuff soak out of the wax. As I say, the wood wax is on the website, so you can go ahead and get your order placed for that. This is the sword that I made, which gave me the inspiration to do this video. This was just a trial, just me messing about with some scrap wood that I've got here. So both of these swords have been made with essentially scrap wood. I'm sure I could have used the wood for something else, a different project, but what's the fun in that? I've got a few sticks of sapele sitting around, so I've always got more that I can make other stuff out of. So that's had a sit for about a day and a half with the wood wax on it. Just making sure I get everywhere to get the wax off. And I like the way that it's brought the colours out on it. I'm in two minds as to whether to wrap the handle. Let me know what you guys think. I quite like it in the natural wood. I may wrap the handle of the oak one. We'll see. But that's the sapele one. A bit more light on it. Nah, that doesn't really do nothing. But that's the sapele one. That's how it's turned out. I said the way the colours come out on it looks amazing. That's my personal opinion. I know I'm a bit biased, but there we are. It's a good size. Like I say, from what I've looked into, this is more along the style of what they call a chotokan or chotokun. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, really chuffed for this one. Right, so the sword now has had a good 24 hours, give or take, to soak in all the oils out of the wax that I put on it. That's what it looks like so far. It has really brought the colours out in it. So now I'm just going to give it a buff off and really see what it looks like. And then there's this one done. That is it, all done. Again, you can sort of start seeing the profile of the blade a bit more now with the light hitting it. Now the colours are coming out, you can't really see that side. Not enough light on it. Not sure what this style of sword is called, apart from one that was in my head. But there you go. As you can see, even alongside me, it's a good size. You know, let's see what it measures out to. So from tip to the end of the blade is 35.5 inches. So it's a fair size. So the blade itself is, give or take, 26. Oh shoot. The blade itself is 26 and just under 26.25 inches long. So it's a decent size. And the handle is 8 inches long. So if anything that I'm making, if I say it goes on the website, then obviously it'll be on there for sale. Go on there and have a look and see. There'll be other parts on there. Like I said, I need to update it a bit more to get all the other products I've got on there on. So if you fancy purchasing one, having a one-of-a-kind Shed Creations sword, or you want something a bit more bespoke to you and you have an idea that we can maybe work on together, I can make a video for it, we can do some sort of offer, throw it over, give us a try. That's it for now. Don't forget, like and subscribe. See you again next time.